Hey everyone, Skylar here. I haven't talked with you guys since the big Bitcoin crash, so I figured I would give you guys a little chat, and kind of give my thoughts and opinions on it. Some crazy stuff happened as well when it came to Bitcoin crashing, so I figured I'd talk about that. And kind of talk about where I am with the markets and stuff like that. I guess I don't know. And in case for those who don't know, if this is your first video, I go live streaming every Sunday. So if you do have any questions, you can hop into the chat and ask any questions. Yeah, I kind of talk about crypto. I think I'll forever be a student of crypto, but I'm not here to give financial advice, but I've been doing this. I've been obsessed about it for, since 2016, 17. So I'm just here to kind of share what I've learned and all that jazz. So like and subscribe, right? If that's your jam. But yeah, in this video, appreciate all the subs, by the way. In this video, yeah, like I said, let's start off by just talking about the markets in a whole, right? As a whole, Bitcoin has gone down quite a bit. Let's see. Let's do the daily. So this is the crash that recently just took place. We went from about $40,000 down to 25. It was actually ticking. I didn't finish the day, but you could have bought Bitcoin at $26,000, which is crazy, right? Sorry, just making sure my audio levels are fine. And it's been kind of going down for a while too, right? Its top was 66,000. And that was back in November, so all year, last 6 months pretty much, it's been going down. And where do I think it's gonna go to, right? So I personally see, if you go to the hourly, you see it tipping down here. I actually think, okay, first of all, again, I'm not a financial advisor or anything like that, right? And I'm wrong all the time. Everyone's wrong, right? But this level right here that we're at right now, the 30,000 level, as you see, since we initially went up it, in January of 2021, we hit it and it went back up. In July of 2021, it hit it and we went back up. And it looks like we're hitting right now. So hopefully we'll see, it going back up. But if it goes back down, we see some support right here at like 23, 23.5, somewhere around there. But outside of that, the next support's down at the 19,000, 20,000 range, right here. So I don't know where we're going. I don't know what's going on, obviously. I wonder if I can adjust the volume here. Oh, that's cool. The volume is always way louder in my earphones than it is when I end up seeing it. Probably should just turn the music off, right? But that's what everyone says. But anyways, so yeah. Now here's also the deal. We have already done a quarter of negative GDP. We're about to see if we're going to go on quarter 2 with another negative GDP, right? We have 6 weeks until we'll know that. So if we end up hopping into a recession, Bitcoin hasn't seen a recession yet. The last recession happened in 2008, and Bitcoin got started because of that recession. Not because of that recession, but because of the over and over and over nonsense that no one's, we've never learned from thousands of years when it comes to money, right? It's crazy. So if that ends up happening, who knows what will happen to Bitcoin. so far, Bitcoin has followed the markets. So if the markets crash, then Bitcoin crashes, right? Now the United States dollar may crash, but that doesn't mean every currency in the world's going to crash. But obviously, with 2021, we're seeing some crazy numbers we've never seen before when it comes to inflation and money printing. 80% of all the money that's ever been printed has been printed in the last 2 years, right? That's crazy. So I don't, and anyone who says they know, by the way, they don't. One of the things that really ticked me off is on Twitter, I probably saw like 10, 15 people that had somewhere between the lowest, may have had 50,000 people. The highest was in the millions of subscribers. Even on YouTube, there's people that had over a million subscribers, hundreds of thousands, and they were telling people to buy Bitcoin during this crash right here. And talking about all the money that they made off of their little flips and stuff like that. It's just crazy. So I'm going to kind of talk about this crash and what took place right here in a sec. But overall, now here's also the deal. I ended up purchasing back here in this range. So I've already gone through a pump and a dump, right? Or not a dump, right? But, a huge market correction, 88% or something like that, right? I wonder what the correction is from $68 to 25,000, right? But, and especially when it comes to, I have it on a different chart. Especially when it comes to, wait, is it BLX that I have it on? There we go. So I've actually wrote down all the dips and stuff, and this is the seventh cycle that we're in, I guess, since it's big crash. I guess you could say 3 or 4 depending on what numbers you look at. But the biggest drop was 93%, and that was back in 2014, I believe, was when this took place. And we've gone 70% dip, 80% dip, right? So we're probably pretty close to that right now as well. But Bitcoin goes through these cycles of pumping and crashing, pumping and crashing. In fact, the last one, if you see, it went from $1,100 down to $175, and then from $175 to 20,000, right? So yes, it went from $229 to $67, but then it went to $1,100. Yes, it went from $1,100 down to $175, but then it went to $19,000. Yes, it went from $19,000 down to $3,200, but right now it's at 31. It's at 31,000, right? 30,000. So it does go through these drastic drops, and then it recovers. And I'm not saying that's going to happen forever, but yeah. I'm hoping, obviously that I think if we hear some good GDP news or something, and our GDP is projected to be positive for this quarter, then we'll see good Bitcoin news, right? But who knows? We'll just have to. I'm kind of waiting on that, I guess. I mean, I don't know what I'm waiting for. Again, like I said, I'm a long-term holder. I've held it for a really long time, so. Most of my holdings I've had for well over a year, so I don't really care about the crashes or the pumps or the, it's not like I'm losing any money anyways, right? But I can understand if you purchased up here and now it's down here, that could be rough. But even if you purchased at the all-time high last time, you're still $10,000 over that, so. It's like kind of crazy. It's like all you gotta do is buy Bitcoin and hold it for 2 or 3 years, 4 years, and it'll go drastically up. Better than the S&P, better than, Berkshire stock, better than, Vanguard, whatever, right? Not saying it'll always do that, but just saying historically it's done every single time. It's just kind of crazy. I think a lot of people trip out because they're really short term, especially with like all these stocks, and they're pumping up like crazy within weeks, days, months, right? But yeah, I mean, long term, it's also funny on these crashes too. Let me tell you, the utility of Bitcoin did not change from this peak down to this drop, right? Bitcoin is actually doing better. There's more technologies, more people doing research. It's just so when people freak out, it's like, what are you freaking out about? You're freaking out about short-term markets, essentially, is what you're freaking out about. But if you're not selling, I mean, if you're not day trading, then it doesn't matter. Utility's getting better overall. It's the price has gone up, right? Can layer 1 scale Solana, or is the future layer 2 Polygon? I mean, Bitcoin is working on layer 2 solutions with Lightning Network, right? And Lightning Network is a centralized entity, so here's the deal with that question. Sorry, let me just answer this real quick. He asked, can layer 1 scale, or is the future in layer 2 scaling? I don't know that answer because I don't understand. Oh, by the way, drinking some Rogue Dreamland here. Anyways, I don't know the answer because I don't know the code that well to even answer that. And by the way, anybody who answers questions like that and doesn't know how to code, I don't understand that. It'd be like me giving advice on, how to, like if I was an attorney or something like that. It's like I can Google stuff, and figure it out, but unless that's not wrong. That's a bad analogy. Anyways, so yeah, I'm long term with Bitcoin. You guys have to understand too, like Bitcoin is allowing the 2/3 of the world that doesn't have a bank account have the same banking privileges that we have here in America and first world countries. So, how is that? And it's getting better and better at doing that. Oh, and nobody controls it. Oh, and you can't print more money, right? So it's like the utility of Bitcoin is in fact getting more important and more, relevant than ever. So I don't really pay attention to the noise. Didn't like whatever happens, happens. But when it comes down to it, Bitcoin's getting to be more adopted. There's more people using it. It's getting faster. So when it comes to the short-term markets, that's just what a bunch of rich people do to play with people that, they want you to throw your money in and then see it drop 60%. Then you panic sell, and then it pumps it back up, and then you think, oh crap, it's hitting all-time highs, it's going to pump again. And then you buy it, and then they slowly crash it. I feel like Bitcoin is like 99% crashing, going down, and like 1% like this. Holy crap, holy crap, holy crap, holy crap. And the rest is like, going down, then holy crap, pump, right? It's kind of funny. But yeah, a lot of coins are down, right? I went heavy into a project that it's like $1 over what I went into like almost like over a year ago as well. So like there's a lot of these projects they're so low. Like Polkadot's $11, right? When they initially forked it, it was like $5, right? When they ended up launching it officially. Cardano's back at 60 cents. So who cares? Dogecoin's at 9, right? Where are all these? A lot of these coins are. Oh my gosh, Chainlink's at 761. See, that's nuts. I think I got into Chainlink at like $2 or $3 or $4 or something, and then I got out of it like 2 years ago or something, at like 25, $30. What was it at? 35? Something like that. Stellar 14. Anyways, yeah, there's a lot of prices. Oh my gosh, Uniswap's at 525. When they initially launched Uniswap, these prices are essentially like some of these coins, like 2-3 years ago, these coins were at these prices, right? So it makes me just want to put money back in. Actually, that's the emotion I get when this happens. But anyways, let's talk about how the crash happened. Dang it! See, I was talking way too long about this. Jeez. Let me talk about the crash. So this is essentially what happened with Luna, right? It was, in the 90 range, and then all of a sudden crashed down to right now it's went from almost $100 to 0.0002 pennies. So this is a fifth of a penny right now. It was at a $40 billion market cap, and now it's at it's in the hundreds of millions, and it's just going down. But I saw an article the other day, and it said Bitcoin's crashing, but Luna is doing a 600% gain. Can you believe that? Irresponsible reporting. Yeah, because it crashed all the way down to 0.00000019, and then it went from 0.0000. So it crashed 99.9999%, and it went up 0.0001%, which happened to have been like a 600x, right? Anyways, this is why you guys can't listen to these articles. Most of the YouTubers on here are garbage. Except for me, right? Just kidding. Jeez, look at all that volume being traded. So anyways, what happened, right? So essentially, oh, and by the way, look, so I do my picks every single year. Even though I didn't like doing the picks last year because I pretty much picked them on the very end of the day. It wasn't exactly how I wanted it, but every year on the 2nd, I post the projects I go in, and I felt like we were kind of entering a bear market at this time, so I was just like, well, there's no coins I would hold for a year that I'm really solid on in a bear market, right? So this is what I got into. But look, Link was at 23 at this time, right? It's at 7 right now. Polkadot's at 11 or 12, right? It was at 17 when I got him. Luxo's at like $5 or $6 right now, and I got it at 10, right? Ethereum, Bitcoins, so even if you were to got even these picks, right, you'd be behind. So everyone's down, right? Essentially, if you got into crypto in the last, couple of years, you're down. But I think, like I said, we're kind of at the bottom. We're going to go back up, and it depends on what happens with this recession news, right? But, yeah, you can always follow me because I'll always post my picks. I don't even know why I threw Kusama in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Normally I do 5. Maybe because I did 6 last time. Anyway. So, it was Luna, essentially, and I'll try to go through this pretty quick. But essentially, the way that Luna works is Luna is paired with a stable coin, and you essentially, when you sell Luna to get into the stable coin, then Luna burns tokens, which increases in price, right? Once you get rid of tokens, it increases market cap. And if you want to cash in your UST, you can end up flipping it for Luna, and it's 1-to-1. So you get 1 Luna for every, the UST that you end up having. So at any rate, and the people, and then it also incentivizes people to hold on to it, to stake it, and they were going to give you 19.5% APY on your money. Now, I didn't get into Luna just for that. Oddly enough, I never thought of it as a scam because so many people loved it, and it had a huge market cap. I just didn't understand. Whenever you see something too good to be true, it pretty much every single time is, right? So at any rate, I'm lucky that I didn't end up crashing and burning, but you know, a lot of people did. I know a lot of people that did. It's crazy. But anyways, this guy ended up saying, he's like, hey, if he was going to short Luna, and he said this on the 9th, right? March 9th. And Do Kwon, who, okay, so so essentially when this pairing happened, I keep like almost telling the full story and then I get sidetracked. But this pairing of UST and Luna, essentially, it's the stable coin of UST isn't backed by gold or silver or anything like that. It's backed by the algorithm. And so essentially, if Luna's price is going up, then the pairing, then UST is really easy to pair that peg of $1. But it actually did it. But if Luna starts doing bad, and they realized that if it, there's a guy who I'll talk about in a second who realized that if it did a 70% drop, then the stable coin could depeg itself, and the price could go down, and then people would panic sell because the UST was unpegged, and they'd have to switch that for Luna, and then they'd sell Luna, right? So this guy right here, Freddie Reynolds, he actually he predicted this crash in November of 2021, and he goes through this thing of longing and shorting Luna, doing it both, and that way, no matter what, if it goes up, you win. If it crashes, you win. But he kind of breaks it down, and the creator of Luna pretty much talked him trash, right? Probably the most, ridiculous thread I've ever read this decade. Silence is a perfectly acceptable option if stupid. And then he actually told billionaires, go ahead and see what happens, because Freddie was saying you can short Luna, and you could take advantage of it crashing. There's no way that it's sustainable and whatever. And then the owner, who's kind of a piece of crap, by the way, he starts taunting billionaires and saying, go ahead, right? And of course, some billionaires did go ahead. So Freddie laid it out, and then Do Kwon taunted him, and then, it actually ended up taking place. So, yeah. And then this other guy as well, 4 months ago, posted on Reddit so back it actually crashed a long time ago, the dollar peg, for a split second because of liquidity issues, and this guy as well mapped out what it would take to crash, and essentially said that it's a ticking time bomb and it's eventually going to crash, right? So there's a couple people that predicted this because it's an algorithmic stable coin, and they were able to run the numbers and stuff and realize that it wasn't gonna work. And this Do Kwon guy just talks trash on everybody and calls people poor and whatnot. And even this guy, he's like, hey, I'm gonna short it if it goes up, because he called it a Ponzi, and then Do Kwon called him out, and obviously, right, it took place. Now here's also what's crazy. Oh, did I get rid of it? Oh, no. Oh, well. Anyways, there was a $20 million bet. Did I not have that? Oh, bummer. Karma is real. Have fun staying poor. There was a bet that took place, and it was a $20 million bet that Do Kwon said, hey, I'll even bet you $200 million, that what this guy said was wrong. And obviously he lost, right? And now the guy's calling him out. He's like, Do Kwon, where's my money, right? Anyways, but this is the Do Kwon guy, if you listen to him.
I wonder how many of these companies you think are entering the space just because it's hot and there's a lot of funding versus the ones that will still be here, like 2 to 5 years later.
95% are going to die.
Yeah.
95% are going to die. Yeah. But yeah, there's also entertainment in watching companies die too.
There's entertainment. Oh man, that's so evil. At least you get to learn from it, right? I wonder how.
So, yeah, he's pretty much laughing about projects that die, and this, and then his died, right? But anyways, he ended up after the coin crashed. It by the way, and it crashed quick, right? If you see the. Do I not have a Luna? Oh, there it is. If you see how quickly it crashed, it pretty much it started May 22nd, or sorry, May 9th, and it went all the way down May 12th. So it was like 2 days. Now, the Do Kwon around this time as well. I'd be really curious to do some investigation around this time right here, because right about here, Do Kwon told his fault. He said, "Getting close, stay strong." He was pretty much telling people that he had something in the pipeline and not to worry. You know, pretty much, you know, you don't have to sell. We're gonna get this. We're gonna get this figured out, kind of vibe, right? And nothing took place and ended up crashing even more, right? So all this happened within a couple of days, which was crazy, and it all had to do with this one project that was worth. And if you look at it, Luna. It was at $110. Does it show all-time high market cap? I think the market cap was, wait, maybe I can do. No, this just volume. I think it was like a $40 billion project, so $40 billion got wiped in 2 days. And then its stable coin as well got wiped, which was UST. And that was like 15 or 18 billion or something like that. So that also got wiped. It's not stable anymore, right? It's at 15 cents. And then a bunch of other coins followed with the market, right? Because everything was just dumping. So, anyways, that's when Bitcoin dumped a little, almost went to like 24,000, right? I think it was at 25, 26,000 it went to. But yeah, I'm hoping we kind of bounce around this 30 for a little bit, and then we hear some good news about, you know, about our 2 quarters of negative GDP, right? And the official recession taking place. And if that happens, maybe we'll go back up, right? But we're just going to be delaying the recession. It's going to happen for sure. We are long overdue. A recession normally takes place like every, I think I actually calculated it out and it was like 5.5 years. But in the later, you know, in the last 50 years or so, it's happened more so in like every 8 years or so. So yeah, we're a little bit behind on a recession, right? But yeah, this is the kind of guy. He calls people poor, calls people broke asses, and they're in poverty. People that questioned him, he would just call them poor. I don't debate the poor on Twitter. Alright? What a jerk. He's still poor. Anyways, a lot of people are kind of glad that, you know, that happened. He's trying to revive the project right now too. And it's just like, oh well, don't worry. Just like, you understand, like $50 billion would have to go back into the system, and that would $50 billion need to be trusted again to this person who just lost it all. So it's just like, I don't know. I think it's a dead project, but might revive as a meme coin to help, you know, a lot of people that are. I'm gonna go check up on Luxo after this. Anyways, it might be a meme coin for the community that ended up losing a bunch of money to get their money back. I don't know. There was, by the way, a rumor that Citadel and BlackRock and there was like some proof. It was like half, you know, some stuff they found to be true, and so the rumor got a lot of push. But I don't think this is true. But they said BlackRock and Citadel essentially borrowed a bunch of money from Gemini in Bitcoin and ended up trading 25,000 Bitcoin to Do Kwon for UST, and then they, as they were migrating liquidity pools on, oh my gosh, what's the project? Not Uniswap, but oh my gosh, I'm blanking. Anyways, I thought I could figure it out if I sat there for a minute. Anyways, on another decentralized exchange, and they and BlackRock and Citadel ended up crashing Luna while they had a short on Luna. Ended up, anyways, Charles Hoskins, he ended up tweeting it out, and he's the one that made it really popular. He recently deleted the tweet, so I can't even find it anymore. But he's the one who ended up talking about this, and then everyone thought it was, but it looks like it's not true. But anyways, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it, you guys. I just wanted to chat with you. I'm not really freaking out on anything. Maybe I don't. Whoops, not Luna. So yeah, Luxos, like I said, from last year when I put that, it was at 11, and it's at 6, so it's dropped quite a bit from last year, right? Now we originally talked about Luna when it was at $1, right? And it actually spent the next 8 months like going down to 40 cents. So my initial entry price, is a lot lower because I've been holding for for a long time. So I think that I feel like that's my secret is the longer you hold, the less like when it crashes, it doesn't crash when at your entry price. So even crashing, Bitcoin would have to crash like under $1,000 for me to actually lose money. And so I feel like once you get over that hump, when you've put in a bunch of money and then you've lost most of it, I feel like that's when it gets really stressful. But anyone who's held long enough and good projects that actually have value and worth, right, have done really well long term. I mean, even look at Luxo, right? It went from 25 down to $5, right? It went from 20 cents up to $1.20, back down to 40 cents, up to $23, down to $6, up to $40, down to $6, right? But yeah, I don't know. I guess I used to get a lot more people hitting me up, but if you're new to crypto, this space is crazy, you guys. There's so much crazy stuff that goes on in this space, but when it comes down to it, the technology is getting better. It's becoming more adopted. And by the way, this is something a lot of people don't understand either. None of the technology works yet. It's all being built. People say, "Oh, this is like the 90s.com," and I was like, "Well, in the 90s.com, you actually had projects that worked. Like, where is the Google, the AOL, the Netscape, right? Where are the companies that started the internet? Like, yes, we have Bitcoin, Ethereum, and stuff, but who's using that other than crypto nerds, right? So Ethereum is still doing like 15 transactions per second. Bitcoin is still doing like 6 or 7 transactions per second. And so obviously they can't be used right now. But once Bitcoin starts being able to use tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of transactions per second, and same thing with Ethereum, then it can start getting more widely adopted. But as of it stands right now, you cannot widely adopt Bitcoin. You cannot widely adopt Ethereum. It's going to be super slow. It's going to be super expensive. And they need to be improved upon still. And they have been doing that for 10 plus years. They've been building this. So, the internet was kind of first conceived in the 40s. They started building it really in the 60s. So like we're in the 70s of Bitcoin, right? And we still have another 15, 20 years before Bitcoin and Ethereum is going to be massively adopted and to the point where everybody in the world could use it. And, millions of transactions per second, right? Especially because it's code. You know, you can't, like, Visa right now does like 18,000 transactions, or maybe they do like 8,000 or something, but they can do up to 60,000. It's something like that. But you would need to do more than Visa would, because Visa is just one card company. Especially if you're taking over like all transactions, right? Or not all, but you know, it would be used a lot. And then you have IoT. You're gonna have refrigerators being, you know, making orders to Amazon to get milk automatically, and you're gonna see a lot more of that digital transactions. That's not just somebody swiping a card. So eventually, these are gonna, like, they're not where they need to be at yet. The transaction speeds are slow. Um, you know, and once you're able to, you know, I don't think people complain about the power of Bitcoin. I think that's just a misunderstanding of what Bitcoin is, right? Power is security. When people say Bitcoin, you know, uses as much as a country, right? Those are so weird, by the way, because a lot of it's, you're very nitpicking it. Christmas lights, for instance, do like 60-70% of all the power of Bitcoin each year. So it's just like, you're completely okay with Christmas lights, but for some reason making a currency that anybody in the world who has access to the internet can now use, that's the battle people want to fight. So I don't know. It's crazy. Again, I've been in crypto long enough as well that I just understand most people don't understand Bitcoin and crypto, and the only thing they care about is making money off of it. And so I also think it helps during these crashes is I feel blessed that I can make money off of Bitcoin. Like, I'm obsessed with it. I always thought it was weird that the world is so broken, right? But Bitcoin fixes a huge part of that. And now everybody in the world can be put on the same level, be a part of the same economy, and have the same rights as everybody else, right? And you don't have a third party company denying you access or charging you or blocking you here and there or telling you how you spend your money or can keep your money or whatever, right? Anyways, so yeah, I mean, even if Bitcoin went to 10,000 again or whatever, if it crashed like big time, and it had nothing to do with the fundamentals of the project, I mean, I look at that as, you know, well, if you put in $100 that was worth 60, you know, it's going to get back there, whether it be a year, a two, you know. With this recession that took place, if you looked at my last stream, Bitcoin took quite a while to recover. I mean, it took like 4 or 5 years for the stocks to recover. Maybe it was like 7, like 2013 or something, like 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, like 5. I don't know. I can't remember. But I don't know. So if you're short term, a lot of people are still looking for entry prices. I would wait on news of the recession. If they say, oh, we're not going to be in a recession this quarter, and then that will leave us for the rest of the year. We know we're not going to be in a recession. We have to wait until January of next year to see. So if we hear any good news in the next 6 weeks and that flips things around, then, you know, then we could see another little bull market this year, right? Or at least maybe get to six figures, get to 100,000 Bitcoin or something. I don't know. But yeah, I'm not really tripping. And neither should you if you're a long-term holder. If you're day trading, I guess you might trip out, because who knows what's going to happen in the next following weeks or a couple months, right? But anyways, appreciate you guys watching. What are your thoughts on quantum? I'm down to do a video where I kind of go through Solana and Polygon, Quantum, and some of these projects, but I feel like I've been streaming too long. Jeez, it's crazy seeing these prices so low. Look, Decentraland's still over $1 though. Good for Decentraland. Anyways, super appreciate you guys. I'll see you later. Like, subscribe, right? Oh man, I suck at that. See you, bye.